Admiral Do-Yoon Kim stood by the large window in Earth's Space Defense Center. He watched the stars shine in the night sky. His face looked tired but strong. 15 years had passed since humans first heard signals from space. Signals from what? They now called the Galactic Empire. "Admiral, you should see this," said Lieutenant Taeyeon. Her voice was quiet but urgent. Do-Hyun walked to the main screen. It showed many red dots moving toward Earth. Each dot was a ship, not Earth ships, Empire ships. "How many?" he asked. "Over 200 large warships, sir. And maybe 1,000 smaller ones," Taeyeon answered. Her fingers moved quickly over them. Control panel. Do-Hyun took a deep breath. This was what they had prepared for. This was what they had feared. "Call the president," he said, "and get Captain Ji-Woo Park up here now." Captain Ji-Woo Park had spent the last 10 years studying the Empire. She knew their language, she knew their culture, she had sent hundreds of messages to them, trying to make peace. They never wanted peace, she told Admiral Kim as they walked to the war room. The Empire only understands power. They take what they want, they always have. "We tried your way," Do-Hyun said. "We tried talking." "Yes," Ji-Woo agreed. "And now we fight." The war room was filled with military leaders from all over Earth. On the big screen was President Min-ji Lee. Her face looked calm, but her eyes showed worry. "Tell me what we know," the president said. Director Soon-Ho Choi stood up. He led Earth's defense technology team. For years his people had been preparing for this day. 15 years ago we picked up their signals, Sun-Ho began. We learned they had taken over nearly half the galaxy. They had 7 different alien species in their empire. They had destroyed many worlds that fought back. He touched a button, and the screen showed pictures of the Empire ships. "We sent peaceful messages at first. We told them we wanted to be friends, but we also studied their technology from their signals. When they didn't answer, we sent more messages. We showed them that we were getting stronger, learning faster than any species they had seen before." President Lee nodded. "And how did they respond?" "They ignored us," Ji-Woo Park said. "Until 3 years ago, when we broke into their communication network. We showed them we could get past their security. We left them a message. We come in peace, but we are ready for war." That got their attention, Sun-Ho added. "They sent messages back, demanding we stop growing our space fleet. They ordered us to accept their rule, to become part of their empire. And now they're here," Do-Hyun said, "with their fleet." On the screen, the red dots moved closer to Earth. In his small apartment in Seoul, Han-Jin Lee watched the news with wide eyes. The government had just announced that alien ships were coming, that they might attack. All across the world, people were scared but not surprised. For years, they had been told this might happen. Han-Jin's phone rang. It was the military calling, him back to duty. He had trained for space combat for 5 years before becoming a teacher. Now they needed him again. As he packed his bag, he looked at the picture of his family on the wall, his wife Mi-young and their son Jun-ho. They had gone to stay with Mi-young's parents in the countryside, away from big cities that might be targets. "I'll come back," he promised the picture. Then he left for the spaceport. On the Empire flagship, Supreme Commander Malak looked at the blue planet on his screen. Earth. Such a small world, but causing so much trouble. "These humans are strange," said his advisor, General Tail. "They grow too fast, learn too quickly." "They are just animals," Malak said. His gray skin wrinkled as he frowned. "All new species think they are special. All new species learn their place eventually." "But sir, their technology," Tail started, "is nothing compared to ours." Malak hit the table with his hand. "We have ruled the stars for 50,000 years. These humans have barely left their planet. They hacked our old communication systems, yes. So what? Our weapons are still stronger. Our ships are still bigger." Tail looked worried. "They sent us designs for weapons we've never seen before, as a warning." "Empty threats?" Malak laughed. "If they had such weapons, they would have used them by now." A young officer approached and bowed. "Supreme Commander, we have entered their solar system. We will reach their moon in 6 hours." Good, Malak said. Send them our demands again. Tell them they have one Earth day to surrender. After that, we will destroy their major cities one by one until they accept their place in the Empire. Back on Earth, Jiwoo Park received the Empire's message. She read it to the war room. They want us to give up, she said, to become their slaves. Not going to happen, Do-hyun said. The others in the room nodded. President Lee spoke from the screen. Captain Park, send them our response, the one we prepared. Jiwoo nodded and went to her station. She sent the message Earth had ready for years. The people of Earth value peace and wish to join the galactic community as equals. We will not be conquered. We will not surrender. You have entered our space uninvited and with weapons. This is your final warning. Leave now, or face the consequences. Earth is not defenseless. The message went out in the Empire's own language. Malak laughed when he heard the human message. Consequences? What consequences? Suddenly alarms sounded throughout his ship. Sir, a crew member shouted, something is happening to our systems. All around the command room, screens flickered. The Empire's complex computers began to fail. What is this? Malak demanded. On his main screen, a new message appeared, written in perfect Empire language. Your ships now pass through a field of quantum disruptors. This technology is unknown to your Empire. It affects your navigation, weapons, and shields. This is a demonstration only. The field will end in 10 minutes. Use this time to reconsider your actions. Next time, the effects will be permanent. As promised, 10 minutes later, the Empire ships returned to normal. Malak was furious. They think this trick will save them. Prepare all weapons. We attack as soon as we are in range. On Earth, Do-hyun Kim watched the Empire fleet continue its approach. They're still coming, he said. Sunho nodded. As we expected. The quantum field was just to show them what we can do. They're too proud to turn back now. President Lee's voice came through clearly. Admiral Kim, you have my authorization to activate the full defense network. Captain Park, continue trying to communicate with them. Director Choi, deploy your special projects. All three answered at once. Yes, Madam President. Do-hyun turned to the room. This is what we've prepared. 4. Humanity has faced threats before. We've fought each other for centuries. But today we stand together against something bigger. He looked at the screen showing the Empire fleet. They chose war when we offered peace. Now they will learn why. That was a mistake. All across Earth, defense systems came online. Hidden satellites activated around the planet. In underground bases, pilots like Hanjin Lee climbed into fighters unlike any seen before. The battle for Earth was about to begin. In space, the Empire fleet moved closer, unaware that they faced an enemy unlike any they had encountered in their 50,000 years of conquest. They had chosen war against a species that had mastered the art of fighting through its own violent history. Earth had sent its warning. The Empire had ignored it. Now, humanity would show the stars what it could do. The Empire ships moved closer to Earth. Their huge metal bodies blocked the stars behind them. On the main ship, Supreme Commander Malak stood tall and proud. He had never lost a battle in his long life. The humans have some tricks, he told his officers. But tricks will not save them. Our empire has ruled the stars for 50,000 years. These humans have had space travel for less than 100 years. General Tell was not so sure. He had studied the humans since they first broke into the Empire's communication network 3 years ago. Sir, he said carefully, I think we should be more careful. The humans learn very fast. They have weapons we don't fully understand. Nonsense, Malak shouted. His gray face turned almost purple with anger. Do you think these apes can stand against the might of our empire? We have conquered 1,000 worlds, yes, sir, Tail said. But none of those worlds had quantum technology like the humans showed us. Malak waved his hand as if pushing away Tail's words. It was just a small problem with our computers, nothing more. Now prepare the first attack wave. Target their largest cities. Let's show them what happens when you challenge the Empire. General Tyol bowed his head, but his eyes showed worry. He had a bad feeling about this battle. On Earth, Han Jin Lee sat in his fighter ship. It was small but very powerful. Earth had built these ships in secret for 10 years. They used technology that humans had created, mixed with ideas they learned from studying Empire messages. "All pilots ready?" came the voice of Commander Jinwoo over the radio. "Ready, sir," Han Jin and the other pilots answered. Han Jin looked at the picture of his family that he had stuck to the side of his control panel. "For you," he whispered. "For all of us." Commander Jinwoo's voice came again. "The Empire ships have entered attack range. They are preparing to fire on our cities. Defend Earth at all costs. Launch now." 500 fighter ships shot up from hidden bases around the world. They flew fast toward the Empire fleet. They were much smaller than the Empire ships, but they were quick and hard to see on radar. In the Space Defense Center, Admiral Do-hyun Kim watched as Earth's fighters launched. "First wave away," Lieutenant Taeyeon reported. "All ships working perfectly. Activate the orbital defense platforms," Do-hyun ordered. Around Earth, 50 large satellites that had looked like normal communication towers suddenly changed. Panels, open to show weapons. These were Earth's first line of defense. Captain Ji-woo Park stood beside Do-hyun. "The Empire is sending us a message," she said. "They're ordering us to surrender again. They say they will destroy New York City in 10 minutes as a demonstration of their power." Do-hyun's face hardened. "Send back one word, no." On his flagship, Malak received the human response. One word, no. "Such arrogance," he shouted. "Fire the main cannons. Destroy their city." The Empire ships began to power up their weapons. Huge cannons aimed at Earth, but before they could fire, alarms sounded again. "Sir, small ships approaching fast," an officer called out. "Hundreds of them." "Destroy them," Malak ordered. "They are nothing compared to our fleet." The Empire's defense systems fired at the human fighters, but something strange happened. The shots missed. The human ships were covered with a material that confused the Empire's targeting computers. Then the human ships fired their weapons. They shot strange missiles that didn't explode against the Empire ships' shields. Instead, they stuck to the shields and began to drain their power. "What is happening?" Malak demanded. "Our shields are failing." General Taeyeon checked the readings on his screen. "The humans are using some kind of energy-draining technology. It's pulling power from our shields." "Impossible," Malak shouted. "No one has that technology." "The humans do," Taeyeon said quietly. Han Jin flew his fighter straight at a large Empire ship. His heart beat fast, but his hands were steady on the controls. He fired his energy drainer missiles, watching as they hit the ship's shields. "Direct hit," he reported. "Shield power dropping on enemy ship 7. All around him, other Earth fighters were doing the same. The Empire ships tried to shoot them down, but the human ships were too fast, too hard to target. Han Jin's radio crackled. "All fighters pull back," Commander Jinwoo ordered. "Orbital defenses are about to fire. Get clear." Han Jin turned his ship away from the Empire fleet. He looked back just in time to see Earth's defense platforms light up. Beams of bright blue light shot from the platforms. They hit the Empire ships whose shields had been weakened. The beams cut through the metal like it was paper. 3 Empire ships exploded. 7 more were badly damaged. For the first time in his life, Supreme Commander Malak felt fear. In the Space Defense Center, people cheered as they saw the Empire ships explode. "It's working," Taeyeon said, her voice full of excitement. "Don't celebrate yet," Do-hyun warned. "We've only destroyed a few of their ships. They still have hundreds more." On the main screen, they watched as the Empire fleet changed position. The damaged ships moved back, protected by ships that still had strong shields. "They're changing tactics," Jiwoo observed. "They didn't expect us to fight back so well." Director Sunho Choi entered the room. "Admiral, it's time for Phase 2, he said. "The special satellites are ready." Do-hyun nodded. "Activate them." In space, 50 small satellites that had been hidden on the dark side of the moon began to move. They flew toward the Empire fleet. too small to be noticed at first. On his flagship, Malak was shouting orders. Focus all fire on their defense platforms, destroy those weapons. The Empire ships fired at Earth's orbital platforms. Some were hit and exploded, but the Empire ships had to get closer to aim better, and that put them in range of Earth's other weapons. Sir, an officer called to Malak. Small objects approaching our fleet. More fighters? Malak asked. No, sir. They're too small. Some kind of drones or missiles. Shoot them down, Malak ordered. The Empire ships tried to target the small satellites, but they moved in strange patterns hard to hit. When they got close to the Empire ships, the satellites released clouds of tiny robots, too small to be targeted by the Empire's weapons. The tiny robots attached themselves to the Empire ships. They began to cut through the metal, looking for important systems to damage. We are being invaded by some kind of mechanical insects, an officer reported, his voice shaking with fear. This is impossible, Malak shouted. No species has technology like this. Apparently the humans do, General Tael said again. On Earth, Do-hyun, Ji-woo, and Sun-ho watched as their plan worked. The Empire fleet was in chaos. Some ships were exploding as the micro-robots found their power cores. Others were drifting, their controls damaged. Send the second wave of fighters, Do-hyun ordered. Target the ships that are already damaged. Another 500 human fighters launched from Earth. They flew toward the damaged Empire ships, firing more energy-draining missiles at those that still had shields. In his fighter, Han-jin joined the second wave. For Earth, he called as he led his squad toward a large Empire cruiser. The Empire ships tried to fight back, but they were confused and damaged. The humans had weapons and tactics the Empire had never seen before. For the first time in 50,000 years, the Galactic Empire was losing a battle. In his command room, Malak stared at the screens in disbelief. A third of his fleet was already destroyed or disabled. The humans kept attacking with weapons the Empire didn't understand. How is this possible, he whispered. They warned us, General Tael said. They told us they were ready for war. We didn't listen. Malak's face showed his anger and fear. He had a choice to make. Keep fighting and risk losing his entire fleet, or retreat and face the shame of defeat. Pride won. Launch all fighters, he ordered. Prepare for a full attack on their planet. We will not be defeated by these apes. The battle for Earth was far from over, but humanity had made one thing clear. They would not be conquered easily, if at all. The Empire had ignored Earth's warning. Now they were paying the price. Malak's order to launch all fighters filled space around Earth with thousands of small Empire ships. They flew toward Earth like angry insects, ready to attack. Incoming enemy fighters, Lieutenant Taeyeon called out in Earth's Space Defense Center. At least 5,000 of them. Admiral Do-hyun Kim stayed calm. Activate the pulse shield, he ordered. Director Sun-ho Choi pressed a series of buttons on his control panel. Pulse shield activating now, he said. Around Earth, hundreds of small satellites linked together with beams of blue light. They formed a net around the planet. As the Empire fighters approached this net, it began to pulse with energy. The first wave of Empire fighters hit the pulse shield. Instead of exploding, they simply stopped working. Their engines died and they floated harmlessly in space. What's happening to them? Ji-woo Park asked. The pulse shield targets their control systems, Sun-ho explained. It sends a signal that shuts down their computers. The pilots are fine, but their ships won't work anymore. On the main screen, they watched as wave after wave of Empire fighters hit the shield and stopped working. Soon, thousands of Empire fighters were just floating, in space, unable to move or fight. On his flagship, Supreme Commander Malak watched in horror. All fighters are disabled, an officer reported. None got through their shield. Impossible, Malak shouted for what felt like the 100th time that day. Nothing was going as he had expected. These humans were not fighting like any enemy the Empire had faced before. Sir, General Tael said, we should retreat, regroup, study their weapons, come back when we understand what we're fighting against. Malak turned to him with rage in his eyes. Retreat? The Empire does not retreat. We have never retreated. And we have never faced an enemy like this, Teol argued. They knew exactly how to counter our weapons. They prepared for us. Before Malak could respond, the ship shook violently. "We're being boarded," an officer shouted. "Human ships have attached to our hull." Hanjin Li led his squad of 20 soldiers onto the Empire flagship. They wore special armor that protected them from the Empire's weapons. Each soldier carried a gun that fired bullets made of a special metal that could cut through Empire armor. "Remember your training," Hanjin told his team. "Stay together. Watch for traps. Our goal is the engine room." The humans moved through the Empire ship quickly. They had studied Empire ship designs for years, learning the layouts from the data they had stolen. They knew exactly where to go. When Empire soldiers tried to stop them, the humans showed another advantage. They had trained for close combat. The Empire soldiers, used to fighting with long-range weapons and robots, were not ready for humans who could fight hand-to-hand. Hanjin's team reached the engine room after fighting through 3 groups of Empire soldiers. "Set the charges," Hanjin ordered. His team placed explosive devices around the main power core. The explosives were designed to disable the ship without destroying it completely. "Charges set," one of his soldiers reported. 10 minutes until detonation." "Let's go," Hanjin said. "Back to our ship." They fought their way back the way they had come. As they reached their boarding ship, Hanjin saw more human teams returning from other parts of the Empire flagship. They had all completed their missions. The humans detached their ships and flew away from the Empire flagship. Behind them, explosions began to bloom inside the massive ship. "Sir, we're losing power all over the ship," an Empire officer reported to Malak. "Engines are down, weapons are down, life support is switching to emergency power." Malak couldn't believe what was happening. Humans had boarded his ship, his flagship, and crippled it from the inside. This was not how the Empire fought wars. This was not what he had prepared for. "How many other ships are being boarded?" he asked. General Teol checked the reports coming in. "At least 30, sir. All major command ships." Malak finally understood. The humans weren't trying to destroy his fleet. They were taking it apart, piece by piece, disabling ships rather than blowing them up. It was a strategy the Empire had never seen before. For the first time in the Empire's long history, Malak gave an order he never thought he would give. "All functioning ships, protect the damaged ones. Prepare to retreat." In the space defense center, Earth's leaders watched as the Empire fleet began to pull back. "They're retreating," Taeyeon said, surprise in her voice. "Don't chase them," Do-hyun ordered. "Let them go." President Min-ji Lee's face appeared on the main screen. "Admiral Kim, is it over?" "The battle is over," Do-hyun said. "But not the war. They'll be back with more ships, better prepared." "But we'll be better prepared too," Director Sun Ho-choi added. "We've already learned from this battle. Our next defenses will be even stronger." President Lee nodded. "Captain Park, can you open a communication channel to their commander?" "I'll try," Ji-woo said. She worked at her station for a few minutes, then looked up. "Channel open, Madam President." On his damaged flagship, Malak was surprised when a human face appeared on his main screen. It was a woman with a calm, serious expression. "I am President Min-ji Lee of Earth," she said. "I'm speaking to you to offer terms." "Terms?" Malak spat the word. "The Empire does not accept terms from lesser beings. Today, your fleet was defeated by those lesser beings," President Lee said. Her voice was firm but not angry. "We could have destroyed all your ships. We chose not to. We disabled them instead." Malak had no answer for that. "We will allow your damaged ships to leave our solar system," President Lee continued. "We will even return your disabled fighters with their pilots. But know this, if you return with hostile intent, we will not be so merciful next time." The screen went black before Malak could respond. In his fighter, Hanjin Lee watched as the Empire fleet slowly moved away from Earth. His squad had completed their mission. They had helped save their planet. "All fighters return to base," Commander Jinwoo's voice came over the radio. "Good work today, everyone. Earth stands free." As Hanjin flew back toward Earth, he thought about his family waiting for him, about all the families on Earth who would sleep safely tonight because of what they had done. The Empire had ruled the stars for 50,000 years. They had never known defeat. They had never met humans before. Now they had. 3 days later, Admiral Do-hyun Kim stood in front of the United Earth Council. Leaders from all countries had gathered to hear his report. The Empire has left our solar system, he told them. But they will return. This was just their first attack force. They have many more ships, many more soldiers. Will we be ready? Asked one of the council members. We will, Do-hyun promised. Every day we grow stronger. We learn. We adapt. That's what humans do best. Director Sun-ho Choi stepped forward. We've already started studying the Empire ships we captured. Their technology is advanced, but not as advanced as they think. In many ways, they've stopped growing, stopped improving. They've been the strongest for so long that they forgot how to get better. And that's their weakness, Captain Ji-woo Park added. They expect everyone to fight the way they do, to think the way they do. But humans are different. We see problems in new ways. We find solutions they can't imagine. President Lee stood up. Then we will continue to prepare. Earth sent them a warning. They chose war instead. Now they've seen what humanity can do when threatened. And this is just the beginning, Do-hyun said. We've shown them our first defenses. We have many more they haven't seen yet. All around the room, the council members nodded. Earth had won its first battle against the stars. The war might be long, but humanity would face it together. They had been tested. They had faced the greatest power in the galaxy, and they had not broken. 6 months had passed since the Battle of Earth. The planet had changed in that time. Countries that once fought each other now worked together. The whole world focused on one goal, preparing for the Empire's return. Hanjin Lee walked through the new Global Space Center in Seoul. It was huge, built in just 3 months by workers from 20 different countries. Inside, scientists and soldiers from all over Earth worked side by side. Officer Lee, a voice called. Hanjin turned to see Captain Ji-woo Park walking toward him. After the battle, Hanjin had been promoted for his brave actions on the Empire flagship. Captain Park, he greeted her with a smile. How are the peace talks going? Ji-woo sighed. Slowly. The Empire is not used to talking. They prefer to take what they want. But they can't take Earth, Hanjin said. No, Ji-woo agreed. They can't, and that's why they're talking now. They walked together to a large meeting room where Admiral Do-hyun Kim was waiting with Director Sun-ho Choi and several world leaders. On a big screen was the face of General Kim Tail from the Empire. We have studied your proposal, Tail was saying. Supreme Commander Malak has concerns. I'm sure he does, Admiral Kim replied. But the facts remain. Your fleet was defeated. Your ships were captured. Your technology has been studied and countered. The Empire is still powerful, Taeol said. We have many more ships, and we have many more surprises, Director Choi said calmly. Do you really want to find out what else we've been working on? Taeol was quiet for a moment. Then he said, The Empire Council will meet soon to discuss your terms. I will contact you afterward. The screen went black. Do you think they'll accept? President Min-ji Lee asked. They have no choice, Do-hyun said. They can't defeat us through force. Their only option is to make peace, or to try a different kind of attack, Ji-woo warned. On the Empire homeworld, Supreme Commander Malak paced back and forth. His defeat at Earth still burned in his mind. No one had ever defeated an Empire fleet before. His name would forever be linked to this failure. The human terms are actually quite fair, General Taeol said, watching Malak pace. They don't ask for any of our territory. They just want to be left alone, to be treated as equals. Equals, Malak spat. They are primitives who defeated our best fleet, another general said quietly. Malak stopped pacing. What if we sent a peace mission? A large ship, filled with important people, but secretly carrying our most Powerful weapon, Tail frowned. You mean, trick them, break the peace talks? It's not breaking the peace if we never agreed to it, Malik said with a cold smile. We'll send our best diplomats. They'll talk about peace while we prepare our surprise. The humans might detect the weapon, Taol warned. Not this one, Maliki said. It's new, different, something they won't expect. 1 month later, Earth's sensors detected a large Empire ship entering the solar system. It moved slowly, broadcasting messages of peace. In the Space Defense Center, Do-hyun Kim watched the ship carefully. They say it's a diplomatic mission, Jiwoo reported. They've sent their top officials to discuss peace terms. Scan the ship, Do-hyun ordered. Look for anything unusual. Lieutenant Taeyeon worked at her station. The ship is very large. It has minimal weapons as they promised, but... She paused, looking confused. What is it? Do-hyun asked. There's something strange in the center of the ship. Our sensors can't identify it. It's shielded somehow. Director Sun-ho Choi checked the readings. It could be a new weapon, or it could be nothing. We can't tell from here. Do-hyun thought for a moment. Allow the ship to approach Mars. No closer. We'll send a team to inspect it before it comes to Earth. The Empire ship stopped near Mars as ordered. A team of humans, led by Hanjin Lee, flew toward it in a small, fast ship. Remember, Do-hyun told them over the radio, look for anything unusual. Trust your instincts. As the human ship approached, the Empire ship opened its docking bay. Inside, Empire diplomats waited to greet them. Welcome, the lead diplomat said when Hanjin and his team entered. We are here to discuss peace between our peoples. We're glad to hear that, Hanjin replied. First, we need to inspect your ship. Standard procedure. The diplomat nodded. Of course. We have nothing to hide. Hanjin's team began to move through the ship. They scanned each area carefully. Everything seemed normal until they reached the center of the ship. There, a large door was locked. What's in there? Hanjin asked the diplomat who was showing them around. Just our main power core, the diplomat said quickly. It's dangerous to go inside. Hanjin noticed the diplomat seemed nervous. We need to see it, he insisted. I'm afraid that's not possible, the diplomat said. For safety reasons, Hanjin contacted Do-hyun. Sir, they won't let us see their power core. They're hiding something. Use the override codes we got from the captured ships, Do-hyun ordered. Open that door. Hanjin's team used a device that sent the Empire's own security codes to the door. It slid open. Inside was not a power core. Instead, there was a strange machine with a countdown timer on it. It's a bomb, one of Hanjin's team members shouted. Some kind of new weapon. The diplomat tried to run, but Hanjin stopped him. What is this? He demanded. The diplomat's face showed fear. A gravity bomb. It creates a small black hole. It would have swallowed your entire planet. When Admiral Kim heard this, he immediately ordered all Earth ships to attack the Empire diplomatic vessel. The ship tried to activate the weapon early, but Hanjin's team had already disabled it. Earth's fighters swarmed the Empire ship. Within an hour, it was under human control. Contact the Empire Council, President Lee ordered. All of them, not just Malik. When the connection was made, 7 Empire Council members appeared on the screen. Supreme Commander Malak was among them, looking angry. Your peace mission was carrying a weapon designed to destroy our planet, President Lee said. Her voice was cold with anger. This is not how peace is made. It was a misunderstanding, one of the council members tried to explain. No, President Lee cut him off. It was an act of war disguised as diplomacy. We have captured your ship. We have your weapon. And now we have new terms. She nodded to Admiral Kim, who stepped forward. From this day forward, Do-hyun said, there will be no empire, only a galactic federation of equals. All species will have the same rights, the same voice. No more conquests. No more forcing others to obey. And if we refuse, Malak challenged. Director Sun-ho Choi answered, we have studied your gravity bomb. We understand how it works now. We could build our own. Many of them. We could send them to every empire world. But we won't, Jiwoo Park added quickly. Because that's not who we are. Humans don't destroy when we can build instead. We don't conquer when we can cooperate. These are our terms, President Lee said. Accept them, or the next time we meet we'll be in battle. And you've seen what happens when you fight humans. 3 months later, representatives from all 7 Empire species gathered on a neutral space station. Captain Jiwoo Park led the human delegation. Together they signed the new Galactic Federation Charter. Today marks a new beginning, Jiwoo said to the gathered aliens. Not just for Earth, but for all your worlds too. No more living under the Empire's control. No more fear. We can all be free. We can all work together. As she spoke, screens around the galaxy showed the signing ceremony. On Earth, people cheered in the streets. The war was over. Peace had come. In Seoul, Hanjin Lee watched with his wife, Myung and son Junho. Is it really over? Myung asked. Yes, Hanjin said. We showed them something they'd never seen before. What was that? Junho asked. Hanjin smiled. That strength doesn't come from conquering others. It comes from protecting what you love. In the Space Defense Center, Admiral Do-hyun Kim and Director Sunho Choi watched the ceremony together. Earth sent a warning, Sunho said thoughtfully. The Empire chose war. And in the end, Do-hyun finished, we gave them peace anyway. That, Sunho smiled, is the most human thing about us. The end.